Mark Arnaudo, filming from GenCon 2015. I'm at the booth of Osprey Publishing, a publisher that I appreciate very much for their history books, and now also it seems that they have started getting into the business of games and war games. And one of the games that I'm most excited about in GenCon 2015 is Frostgrave, a fantasy war game in a frozen city. And Duncan from Osprey has agreed to sit with us a little bit and to tell us about the game. Thank you, Duncan.
Hi guys, so Frostgrave is a battle of wizards in the ruined city of Frostgrave, which has been frozen for 1,000 years and has now started to thaw. The story behind the game is that there are hordes of magical treasure to be found everywhere, but the place is overrun with monsters, and worse than monsters, the place is overrun with other warbands also trying to take advantage. Each player will take the role of a wizard from one of, I believe, 9 schools of magic? 10 schools of magic. Each with their own individual retinue of spells, their own apprentice, and a warband made up of different soldiers, warhounds, archers, thugs, and they will be taking their team into the frozen city with a view to gathering as much treasure as they can, fighting off opposing warbands, and getting better as quickly as they can.
So the game is basically a rule set, and then players have to supply their own miniatures and terrain, correct?
Yeah, we have a dedicated rule set, or a dedicated miniatures line, but it's kind of non-miniature specific. So if you have a series of traditional fantasy rule sets or fantasy miniatures, you can make any set really work.
Good.
We have I'm using Pathfinder miniatures here, so we've got a wizard and an apprentice and any number of thugs, just to kind of illustrate the fact that the system really is very flexible.
And the scale is 28 millimeters?
28 mil,
okay.
Yeah. So the way the game works, each wizard will be from one of the 10 schools of magic, and you'll take 3 spells from your own school, and then 3 spells from some of the aligned schools or some of the neutral schools. So depending on which class of magic you pick, the other schools of magic will either be aligned to you or they'll be neutral to you, and the effect that that has is that their casting cost becomes a little bit higher. So essentially you have a choice between over 100 spells for each wizard.
Wow.
As well, and to kind of simplify the game, your apprentices will learn the same rules as the wizards will rule, they will just have a slightly higher casting cost. So you'll take your warband in, the activation operates in the sense that you roll for initiative, move your wizards first, and up to 3 soldiers who are within 3 inches of your wizard, move and act. Then the other player will move and act, then you do the same with your apprentices, and then whatever remaining soldiers haven't been moved already, then take the move, then everybody rolls for initiative again and carries on. You can play quite aggressively and play to try and take out the other warband, or perhaps more effective is to try and grab treasure and get out as quickly as you can. Generally speaking then, your treasure will provide you with boosts between games, and you can level up your wizards across a campaign system, either choosing to expand your retinue of spells to have more options available to you in battle, or to lower your casting cost to make you more effective in battle. And you've got a range of spells from things like the Chronomaster, who affects people's movements in interesting ways. You've got your Elementalist, you've got your Necromancer, or your Summoner, who can summon all kinds of demons as a pre-game spell to bring in a strengthened warband. There's a huge amount of flexibility in the system, and we'll be supporting it with a full campaign system, including Thaw the Lich Lord, which is coming out in November.
And this is the book, right?
This is the book.
I mean, it seems to have
rule set. This is everything you need to play. It's $25.
And you know, it's not your average rule book that you find in a box. This is solid hardcover, and as far as I can see, high production value.
Anybody who's familiar with any of our wargame lines before will know that particularly the both action quality books, they're really, really beautiful and really beautifully illustrated.
Yeah, the illustrations are great. The paper is thick, good quality.
And then at the end of the game,
very interested, very curious about trying Frostgrave fantasy war games in the frozen city at some point. Well, thank you, Duncan, for taking the time to tell us about the game.
Good speaking.